that should be doing it. Are we streamed? Okay. Hello, YouTube. And hello, Facebook. So at least this time we didn't spend 30 minutes posting, getting stuff set up. So here we are. What are we going to do? What do we got to do here? So, at least on my screen, I can kind of see what you guys can see if you're on mobile. And obviously the palette is the big thing. That, you know, the elephant in the room that's not done yet. I'm blocking most of the place that I didn't work on in my head. However, what I'm going to do is zoom out all the way out, postage stamp size. And this might be fun for you guys to see this too. Even though on your end it's going to look super tiny. Actually, so tiny you might not even be able to see much of a difference except in the palette. Yeah, that's too small. But I can see differences at this size on my screen. So I think what we're going to do is just go about the business of identifying issues. Biggest issue I see right now is hairline around the outside. Things look pretty good. It's sharp on the forehead, sharp on the outside. So let's find out why and where it's sharp. So for instance, is there kind of a nice dark zone here that we can figure out where that lives? Something like that. Now there's a nice patch here. All this stuff just looks a little sharp. So as we're coming down to a finish here, and I don't know if we're done or if we're gonna have to do another session, but I kind of like the brushy nature of this one. And look, if we want to do like, you know, HD, if we want to really knock this one out of the park, Bob's not going anywhere. So we can come back and take care of this. But I think for now, I'm like, all right, we're 6 sessions in. We had a little bit of a shorter week because we didn't end up doing 2 days. There were 2 days, there were last week or whatever, we had like, I don't know. We're down. We should be doing more than this. We should be doing 2 more. But I think because we're going to leave this one a little brushy, it's going to be okay to just leave it like this. So here I am after yapping around. What you're going to see me doing is just going for the elephants in the room, so to speak. Like, by that I mean, okay, what is happening here? Is there a light area here, a lightest light? Let's find our lightest light and then bring in some of that stuff. Something like this over there. See that? We're just blending and blurring across. All right, whoops, that's a little much. There's some hairline stuff here. You know, we can just blur this in. We're not going too crazy, but we're just trying to find out where our darkest darks and our lightest lights melt together. So that blurs it a bit more. What about this edge? We've always had this sort of problem going on here with dark darks. Oh, I forgot to put us on portrait group, but it's okay. Nobody's really watching on any other platforms than Twitch at the moment. One day maybe we'll get going in the studio, and I think that might be a little more palatable with a fully intended pun there for the Facebook portrait painters group. I don't think the portrait painters group is really too cool with digital art, but that's just my that's what I've gathered. I think maybe I should join like a digital art group. I've been kicked out of my own Facebook group. Anyway, oh, I can't be sure, but it seems like maybe they were speaking in Italian. I'm doing Duolingo and trying to get my Italian back. See how that goes. All right. We got some things we got to take care of, obviously. Maybe not too obviously from the distance you're watching, but it's clear to me that here. We'll zoom in about like this. And I think there's like, we got to hit this stuff here. I don't know where that goes, but we can knock it down. This is the whole thing right now. We're knocking down sharp edges that we aren't going to really want to see in the final product. So even if it's just like a quick, a quick and dirty kind of dark that we're putting in there. See? Pow, pow. Blur that edge. We don't need any of that stuff anymore. We're like trying to come in for a finish. Look at this. Here's a little golden curl here that we had placed wrong. You got to have the courage at this stage in the painting to just jump in and make accents, they're called. Basically, now that the process is, you're going to be seeing one after the other. And part of that is in service of the time lapse. I know we probably shouldn't be painting, changing our style up just for but like they say, the media is the message. So we're going to be social media-ing this. We're going to be putting a time lapse up on social media. And so we want that to be interesting. I'm not going to be sitting around here today spending a lot of time in one area. You're just going to see me go from area to area. Look at this. There's a nice little fade. There's really no need for that. I don't think I had that quite right. So let's find out where this really should live in the parlance of the maestro, Bob Ross. We have some happy little curls right here. See this? See, there's the curl. I think. Is that too low? I don't know. Here's where our edge is. Something like that. We're going to use this as our main curl coming back. There's a dark there. I don't like what I did exactly here because it looks like there's more of a carve that needs to come in. Like, well, first let's figure out this. Here's our ear. I mean, our ear is already done there, so we're going to get in this golden dark hue. That's too bright. How's that? Can we blur some of this out and toward the edge? So you're sort of under pressure here. Some of this is like, it's a light pressure. You want to have like the sense that your goal is to keep an eye on the clock. And, because sometimes what happens to us as painters is we get into this luxurious situation where we just think, oh, we don't have to finish this thing. Like, it'll be done when it's done. But I have to say, I think it's important to know what's happening and know what your schedule is, because I've seen too many times, I've seen artists not know when to finish a painting. And when they finish it, they're like, I didn't want to finish it. I'm talking about myself here. I wish I hadn't finished it that early. Well, set a clock, know what it is, and finish it when you want to finish it. And I want to finish it today. So anyway, we're gonna get there, folks. Here, see this? We drag this out. Look at this is like, talk about happy trees. I mean, dude, if that isn't the happiest little fully sprung, oak tree of a hair helmet, I don't know what is. Did we take this too far in? I don't know. So, okay. So I went too light down there. That light needs to be brought in a bit closer. All right, highlights in the hair. You see we're wasting precious time here. Highlights in the hair live where? Something like this. It goes like this. Where do those live? All right, there's a highlight here, but don't know. Let's zoom out. Gosh, I'm nervous, buds. I'm getting ourselves. Well, you know what the other good thing is, like, if you do mess up, or if you do find you need to give yourself another chance, it's up to you. You can do it. You're the creator, as Bob would say. Let's pull some of this dark from the shadows out here. Pull this down. All right. So something like that. Nicey, nicey. Nice, nice. I mean, this is the world's most difficult, iconic hair piece you've ever seen. I wish it was a hair piece. I mean, why can't we just get a Bob Ross wig? I think maybe I'll be Ross for Halloween. Because I've got everything. Oh my God. I need to hit the gym, dude. Before October 31st, I got to get ripped like Bobby Ross. Look at this guy. He's a beast. All right. Look at this area on the... By the way, guys, I'm sorry I'm so far zoomed out. Is that going to work for the stream here? I don't know. I think it's Saturday. We're not... You know... We're not going to lose... not a lot of folks watching today. I went to a comedy show last night that was unbelievable. Jack Tucker is this character, aka Zach Zucker. I don't know which one's which, but he was hilarious. We got to get our bright. And then we hit our accent mark here. See? Nice. All right. As we go up and around, we want to make sure we feed in some of these lights into our... You know, see that? Based on what our background is, we made a mistake, but that's the mistake we made, and we'll live with it, right? Cool. Moving along, I've always had problems with how all this stuff worked. There's a gray that needs to find its way over here. Okay. That gray is too dark. There's definitely this needs to be blurred somewhat. Look. Don't know if that was the right blur, but it really... I don't know. I can't stress this enough. Like, sometimes when you're coming in here with accents, you have to be ruthless and just be like, we're getting rid of this trash. Like, don't look too, you know, don't look too close at what you're doing. Just sort of plow through it. Okay. We've got the head. We've got things going on in the far head. I don't know, something there. There we go. I also feel like this edge needs to come down. We're blurring, we're washing. Better, flicking our eye back and forth. We can see that we need a dark chain. He's got the Scientology medallion. Oh, geez. You know, what? How could that be? I hit the dark. I think I got that dark in there, right? What's the big deal? Got the Scientology medallion. Looks like we need a little gray tone in there. Real small. Okay. Let's bring it back to 0. I actually love the hair now. It's getting better. This little piece right here has got to be we're hitting our eye, flicking our eye back and forth, trying to get our edges softened, things blurred. Like, look, there's like little stuff that needs to come from here to here. Like, see all this stuff kind of wraps forth. Okie doke. Big issue basically is breaking up that line. Okay. Nice dark that we don't really have situated here. Okay, as that wraps around, there's a couple of marks here. Really, this is where you're pushing your eye. You're not letting yourself get away with anything. You're pushing your eye to the limit. You find, where's that highlight? There it is. Find it. Get a brush and just, you don't have to be exactly in the right spot, but like, you know where it is. It's right there. There's a highlight. Hit it a couple times. Okay. I think we need a better highlight there. Come on. Let's go. Let's get in here and grab it. Grab it like grab it. There we go. Come on out. Zoom back in. Find your highlight. Don't paint angry, they say. Don't paint angry, Bob. But look, these are actually the highest lights in the hair. We're going to hit them. Okay. And then here, get a little sprinkles. Get some sprinkles. Rainbow sprinkles, please. Something like this. There. Hey, how's that for highlights? Let them wrap through. Not a problem. Little highlight there. Happy trees. Painting some trees. It's just all, it's like we're painting the clouds. Not a problem. And then the last highlight that I could see anyway is here. There's something like that. I don't know, guys. Like, I like how this one turned out. I'm not done yet, but I think things like this hand, things that we see at this point that are like, I wish that had changed. Then you can change it. The paintbrush, is it okay? I don't know. Is there enough light? The way the hand here wraps through, and make little changes. But really, this is all about hitting it in a way that's not, we don't want to get detailed. We kind of want to hide details. I know this sounds, maybe this is cliched, this whole lost and found things of it. See this? We don't want that bone to be like sticking out like that. We don't want this dark to look like it's it's too severe of a shift. And so if you flick your eyes back and forth, this is where painting really becomes, hopefully you don't mess it up while you're doing it, but you want to sort of set sail a little bit and let the mistakes you've made just exist and be there, whether they be happy little accidents or what, and then harness those accidents and say, okay, it's like I painted some lemons, there's some things that I didn't do right, but they're there. So you're not gonna, like, let's just hook her by crook and get and solve it. This is kind of a daily affirmations. It's sort of like life, All right, we're gonna, at this point, we're blurring, we're blending. Yes, there's veins here, but like, is that really how they work? I think there's some darks here that we're not feeding into the arm. Okay. Zoom out. We can see that hand. We can see things such as the lights here. All right, so we're pulling that through and across. We're going to blur this in and down. There, you zoom it, and you're zooming out, and you can say, all right, that's fine. Like, I'm not the best drafts person in the world, meaning, my drawing, so to speak, is not, there are people who get shapes a lot better than I do. And that's not me. So I think what I want to be focusing on is what are my strengths. Like, my strengths are I don't know. The fact that I'm looking for a shortcut, like, I want this thing to be done. And so let's paint quickly, but we'll paint quickly with our eyes on, with an eye toward getting it right. Okay, we're going to plop in the background. Something like that. That wasn't a great judgment call, but we got to get these darks in here, man. Look, what's that? That's one of these. Grab this. Grab this. Pull it through. All right, I think the next step is going to be pulling this shadow up and through. See this? We're losing that edge. That's fine. Zoom out. We don't even have an edge here. Good. Oh boy. Let's zoom out. Find it. Grab it. Grab it like grab it. Oh, come on. That wasn't even my line. That's not what I... Here's the color. Okay, there it is. See? No, dude. Don't even... I knew it, man. I don't need this. Here. Dark, dark. Pull it up. Pull it through. Grab this. How do you do? Take this. Blur it, blend it into the corner. See, my drawing on the... Like, I knew from the beginning that I was going to be keeping this one sloppy. I don't know why, but I just sort of decided at some point that I needed to figure out a way to get out of this one, you know, without spending 7 days on it. I mean, it's such a good one. I don't know. It's a great subject. But, okay. We get our... This is like in the final hours here. We're gonna do our best to just... Almost the way we worked originally before I started getting into these like little by little passages. when we started this whole streaming thing, I was telling you, go for the stuff that's farthest behind. And I think that's still true. But I'd been working on breaking paintings down into like smaller parts. But now we're kind of zoomed out. We're going around the whole thing now and just plugging in accents. See that? You see the difference between focusing and just on this little area and really rummaging our way through all, going all over the map kind of thing. So see if you could see that difference. We're going to put in a highlight there. I don't know what this choice was. That's not quite right. We'll grab this highlight and hit a couple of these doozies in here. See, it never shows up. It never shows up in a dark. It just blurs. Darn it. I want to be able to float an impasto. An impasto is when you have a chunk of paint that's so big that it sits on top of the surface. It's like the pigment is so thick. Usually that's easier with light into dark, but I don't know. All bets are off when you're doing digital because it doesn't, on the one hand, it acts somewhat like traditional oils, but they can't quite approximate every little idiosyncrasy. So thing is, we're just tidying up what we left unfinished in the previous session. It doesn't really matter here at this point. We're just filling in our blanks. Ooh, that's a nice little ultramarine blue kind of zoom in here as it gets from one area to the next. Streaks of paint. There's a good one. Here's another good one. Here, get our highlights. Not the worst. Not the best, but getting the paint. We're painting the paint. Paint the paint. Paint the paint. Everybody paint the paint. Paint the paint. Paint the paint. What else is going on here? Okay. Another moment here where we need to paint the paint in a It's kind of cool. Sometimes when you just let the rules go, you get these cool little passages that I find pretty fun. Like, look, I'll zoom out. Look to there. And then it's a spot the difference puzzle. I mean, really, look at this here. This too gray. So we throw in a difference. Flick your eye back and forth and spot the difference. That's really what this game is at this stage. Because you've come close. Here's a difference. Why is this dark like that? Needs to come up and through. Here's this. I don't know what this was, but it was a little too dark. Let's find out why this dark is not sitting right here either. You can put in some accents. Here's a dark as that wraps around here. There's one that comes in this way. We're going to blur this edge. Now we can blur this edge a bit. So you want there to be some level of you just don't want it to be too We're going to pull this light shape back into the dark shape. Okay, use the force. And here's an example where we got to blur that edge, pop it across. We're really now just doing our best to kind of make ends meet. And then hopefully that'll be the end. All right. New areas that we probably shouldn't mess with, but we're going to do it. We're going to finish up the edge of this palette here. Perfect like that. I'm going to grab this and because really what we want, so we want some practice being faster. Yes, we want to be careful and cautious. But what would the fun of painting be? There is no joy of painting without a little risk taking, you know? You want it to feel like it's flowing, not so much that you're kind of, ooh, I don't want to make a mistake, you know, and because I've been there, and after 30 years of painting, 20 plus years of painting, you gotta give yourself a little break and have some fun with it. But that's just my journey. Okay, we're gonna find some other places where this edge blurs. Okay, something like that. You don't really see it that much, but all right, so we got a highlight on the brush. Let's grab a this will let us pull this. We want to grab a little something there. Here's a halftone that lives. Happy little halftone over here. All right, we got the end of the brush there. We never really needed this to be this bright. I don't know why I left that there. But you start to see where you left loose ends, if that makes sense. So you say, I know I was rushing to get through that, but now I'm not. And there's going to be hell to pay. I'm sorry. I know this is a family-friendly channel. But it's, yeah. It ain't Sunday yet. Okay. Blurring across, blurring through. We're going to have our daily call to action. If you want, give a follow if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch and you want to see more of these. We're going to be starting a new project probably soon. You know, everybody needs a new start sometimes. Even Bobby. Bobby R. What's up, Bob? He's coming into focus. Whoop. Oh, here's a cool thing we could do. Pull this through. David Navarro. Anybody hear about this? This is too bad. Dave Navarro and Perry Farrell having another spat. Too bad. All right, look at this. This is something that's haunted me since time immemorial. You grab a little streak. Gotta grab that streak and bring it down, bring it through, bring it around. You gotta control it. Okay, same deal here. I saw Perry Farrell and Jane's Addiction in some iteration not too long ago. 20 years. I mean, not 20 years. Maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. 10 years, let's say. Yeah, it must have been. Time flies when you're having fun. We're going to just blur all this edge there. I don't know. I didn't like what I was doing there, but I was out of control. Forgive me. All right, so we've got our basic shapes going on here. I'm going to take a little couple of these, one of these. Pull this through. We're going to thread the needle here. Bring it all the way through. All right, I think, I could be wrong, but I think this wants to connect up to here. I think this wants to connect it up to here. Oh, I got a belly. I got a rumbling belly again. Here, what was all this? Something. I think it's still going to look like a palette. You're starting to see little things that are off, you know? So we zoom out, we take a deep look at it. Oh, dude, team, I'm sorry about this. This is ridiculous. My capture was off the whole time. I don't know what's going on, but my apologies. That's 50 minutes of wasted live stream. All right, great. So it didn't look like that was happening. That was so weird. Well, here we go. You could see now there's a big difference. Jeez Louise. All right, I'm going to take a... I don't know what the heck that was. So ridiculous. I feel like I should shut down this stream at this point because that... Just remove it. I think I will. It's not a great VOD. I think the issue is like... I don't know what it is. I'm not thinking straight. Don't paint angry. Well, at least the what's it called will be there. All right, folks. I think that's going to be it for this one. I've kind of had it with this project, to be honest. And the likeness is good. You got a quirky look in his eye. And I feel good about it. You know? Oh, one thing we didn't do quite justice to. Let's end it off. We'll finish it all off with just a hint of this medallion here. This thing's been plaguing me the whole time. Is it a cloven hoofed, like, what's it called? Is it one of those? You really need to. One of those fawns. Here, let's find another highlight here. Pow. Let's find it. It'll go like this. Crack. Nice. The medallion. It's like what he wears to his, what do they call those? Like the stress tests, or what is it? I'm asking the audience because I assume you're versed in esoteric Scientology fun facts. I think we're gonna have to do a little deep dive on that's a really sort of, I'm mailing it in, but that's okay. We really mailed in this last stream. I think it's fine. Okay. I wish we could turn back the clock. So here's one, but we can't. Can't go back in time, can we? All right, there we go. It's some kind of medallion that indicates sort of next level Thetan powers. The last thing I want to do is get rid of this sharpity sharp. You see this? When did my stream stop recording the darn? Such a bummer. Sorry, folks. Anybody stopping by would just be like, all right, well, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's sort of like, I guess it's, the fact is, it's not that different from my normal stream, but and we'll hit this. The dark. And then the last move here as I round out is a risky one. I probably should not do this, but we're going to do it anyway. We're getting up here. We're going to blur this. We're going to grab our little highlight and hit a highlight right in here. See, the nerves are starting to kick in when I get into this stuff. Because really, I don't know. And then over here, we've got to mush this down. And then figure out why this is looking so dark. I'm sorry, not dark, the opposite. What's the opposite one? Why it's so bright. So bright. Here. Here's smileys. And then the only other thing to do here is blur this and put a line under the eyeglass. So let's do that together. Blur this. Find a sort of semi-dark here. And then this. And we'll take a little bit of we really left things a bit on the unfinished side, but that's sometimes what happens. So I'm going to blur this out. I'm going to blur this one. And then we need a dark that kind of curls from here up into there. And that's pretty good. We can take this take lower half of that. We're really pretty fine here. We're just finding out what things we can, how can we maximize, optimize, since we're in, you know, since Bob's got his claws in us, we might as well just try to be fearless. Scary. He's a scary guy. I mean, I told you from the beginning, he's got a dark side, and he can turn that on. Ah, jeez. Bobby. I'm trying to remember what that reference was. Let's get a little light coming through here. All right. We're almost there, folks. Whoa. We want to get our lightest light in the house here and find out it lives right here, our happiest little highlight. And then there's a little highlight here. Okay. I think that's it. We hit the beard. Maybe we'll, just to make sure we don't ever look at this thing and think, why didn't he soften the hands there? Why, you know, that's the hand of God there. That's that painter of happy trees, magic hand. So, soften it up, blur it down, and did it work? I don't know. Are we out of the woods? Don't know. We got a highlight going through here. Oh, there's a shadow. Hand's not so bad. We take this little area, carve it up and in. Here's another place where it could have gone a little more blurry business. Softening edges, coming into focus. So sometimes it's like by softening is how you get the focus to come in. I don't recommend going nutty like I did today and just sort of scorched earth approach to finishing a painting. I was just feeling it, you know. I was like, let's get mean. But it can be risky if you're taking risks. It's risky. So anyway, are we done? No. I can't finish. You can't let it go. Bobby would say the same. That guy had a half hour to paint these things. There we go. That'll do it. Flick your eye back and forth. See if there's any big problems. Actually, dude, I do see big problems. One is this. we want our edge, we want this anatomy to look a little better than it does. There we go, that's good. That highlight's too light. There's highlights here that need to spring up and out of here. What's the point of having the 70s, you know, buttons undone if you're not gonna, like, you know, get them undone. All right, here we go. Oh, we got a mole. Make sure that dermatologist gets that checked out, Bob. Here, right here. Okay, something like that. Good stuff. I keep wanting to stop, but I can't because I see something else here like this. Why is that line in the collar still present? It's a big issue. Any other gray areas, literally or figuratively? How about here? All right. Dude, let's cash it in. Huh? What do you think? I'm good with it. Ah, one more. Look at this. Dude, look at this highlight. Let's take this. This is how you get the highlights to work with each other. Boom, boom. See that? Just that little thing connects your it connects. Hold on, dude. Just relax. I want this thing to be done, but it's still haunting me, buddies. And then we're going to hit this with another dark. Coming through back here. Because that's definitely a darkest dark. This is a darkest dark here as it wraps up and around, and then find out how that sidles up into there. Okay, so that's going to provide us a little more, like, look, there's another highlight here, and you can just sort of grab it. There's another tiny highlight here. It's just showing us the texture a bit more. Okay. Boom. Bam. Do we do this part? Do we need to? I don't want to. Yes, we should. All right, we're done. Seriously, this time. Let's finish Bob Ross V7. Okay. And then we're going to call that an extra hour. We're going to stop the stream. You know, sorry that was a little crazy. We did crazier than normal, I should say. Finally, we're going to unstream. Sorry about that, team. We didn't show the whole process. We were frozen for half of it, or most of it, but we're going to do the time lapse and have fun.